All right, Bert, I read an article by a guy in Cleveland, and he was saying that since Shedeur Sanders is behind Bailey Zappi on the Cleveland depth chart, that it's time just to get rid of Shedeur Sanders.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, because the idea being that if they don't believe that he can play quarterback, it's not fair to Gabriel to have to answer these questions every time he speaks. The coach is asked about a third-string quarterback more than any coach in the history of the league. That it's just enough. They don't believe in him. They don't think he's good. It's time to move on from him.
If we would just treat him like a normal fifth-round pick, none of this would be an issue.
Well, that's kind of the point of the article, is that he's not treated like a normal fifth-round pick. And then he gives the example, I guess the Eagles cut their or traded their or cut. Hang on one second.
Yep.
I guess the Eagles traded or cut their sixth-round quarterback pick this year already. Mm-hmm. So, the point is that this happens all the time. So that and then this is a Cleveland reporter, so he believes that either Haslam, the owner, is making this happen, or they're petrified a Mayfield situation is going to happen, and Shedeur Sanders is going to go somewhere else and succeed.
And you were also talking about if you would just treat him like a fifth-round draft pick. He's doing his best to force them not to.
Regardless of his behavior, it's not insane to cut a fifth-round pick or to trade a fifth-round pick.
Well, I'll give you guys a good example. So, have you guys ever heard the name Cam Miller? I wouldn't expect to.
No.
Okay. So he was drafted in the 6th round by the Raiders. Okay. The Raiders are obviously in a rebuilding year. New coach, new general manager. So they draft this quarterback in the 6th round. This guy was a 4-year starter in college, 5-year starter in college. Well, no, 4-year starter in college, and he won 2 national championships at North Dakota State.
Okay.
So very accomplished college quarterback, and so he's a 6th-round pick. He gets cut, and now he's on the practice squad. And this guy probably went like 30 or 40 picks after Shedeur Sanders. No one's screaming that the Raiders need to get a read on Cam Miller, right? Like, they like him. They want to keep developing him. They cut him. They put him on the practice squad. They're going to keep working with him. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's that stage of the draft.
Yeah, but Bert, if they cut him, then he could get picked up. The idea is they would cut him and maybe put him on the practice squad.
But maybe he doesn't clear waivers. So now you're holding 3 quarterbacks and you're giving up a roster spot to develop a guy that you don't really want to develop. That's kind of the point. Yeah. So I just think this thing has gotten. I think what's best for Shedeur Sanders, based on what I know about where he was in the spring and the summer developmentally, is for him to treat this as a redshirt year, and if it becomes more than that, then fine. But I heard, I think it was Marcus Spears, who I love. I covered Marcus Spears in Dallas when he was a player, right? Really, and I respect him. I think he's really good at the job, all of that. But I heard him say on TV, I would cut, or I would if I was Shedeur Sanders and they didn't move me up to 2nd string after they traded Joe Flacco. Well, then I would ask for my release. I'm like, what planet are we living on?
Well, that's ridiculous.
A 5th-round pick?
Yeah.
But
you are fighting for. If you do that, you're sabotaging your career.
And Bert, I think another thing that was I don't know how much I know in the offseason you were talking, or during preseason you were talking to Cleveland. I don't know how much you've been talking to him recently. Without right out saying it, but coming very close to it, this guy was saying the coaching staff doesn't believe in him. Certainly that he's going to be capable of being an NFL quarterback anytime soon.
They don't believe. All right, so with Dylan Gabriel, I can tell you, they knew very early on, we can put him in a game, right? I would say by the 1st or 2nd week of training camp, we feel comfortable if Joe Flacco gets hurt, we can put this guy in a game. Which, by the way, is why they traded Kenny Pickett. Because you don't trade Kenny Pickett unless you get to that point. And it was and we feel like by October, November, he could start. And that doesn't mean you think he's going to be a long-term starter. It just means he could go out there and be a functional starting quarterback for us. They didn't feel that way about Shedeur Sanders. And I'm just like, I know everybody looks at the position is so important, and so we all look at it in a vacuum. But there are still 10 other guys in the huddle who have a job to do. And you can't like when so many people are dependent on what that one guy is doing, that what the quarterback is responsible for. If the quarterback can't go out and function in the offense, well, then there's a 27-year-old guard who's not under contract for next year who, look, and I'm making this up, but the 27-year-old guard who's not under contract for next year, whose ability to make money is riding on somebody who can't run the offense.
Well, Stefanski said that. He said that this week before he announced that Zappe was going to be the backup. Remember when he made the statement that basically Zappe was going to be the backup without saying Zappe was going to be the backup?
Yet on it. Yeah.
Well, Zappe's going to be the backup. They're going to call him up from the practice squad. So he said that. He's like, in order for like, there's a lot of people on this team. There's like a lot of people. Like, I think he said almost that. There's a lot of people who we have to take care of, and that the team needs to function. Like, they said that. And the guy from Cleveland was saying he just said exactly what you said. They've always liked Dylan Gabriel. They like him now, and they've never believed Shedeur Sanders is capable of taking over right now. So the point is, okay, sure, cut him and get him on the practice squad. But the only reason they wouldn't do that, and he advocates for that, cut him and put him on the practice squad, right, like you would a normal fifth-round pick. But he says the reason that they won't do that is one of two things. One, Haslam, who this guy's convinced made him draft him, the owner of Cleveland.
Who wrote this, by the way? I'm just wondering.
The athletic writer for Cleveland.
Okay.
That Haslam made him draft him, or they're afraid, and I think this is just his theory, that Baker Mayfield's success now in Tampa, I guess it's a huge deal in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
they don't want to make that mistake.
Do you know they've
again?
had like 41 quarterbacks since 41 starting quarterbacks since 2009 or something like that?
Well, have you seen that jersey? There's like the
yes,
guy.
I have seen that. It says couch at the top, and then the other 40 quarterbacks listed beneath.
That's funny. Yeah. That's funny. I don't know how there's much room. You got to keep getting smaller fonts.
No, there isn't. He's like added material at the bottom.
No, what I'm saying. He said
material at the
so it's like a dress now.
He's got a dress.
Yeah, so he's exactly. He's like getting married.
Yeah.
So do you buy any to that? That they're afraid that those are the only two reasons they wouldn't at least try to push him onto the practice squad, and then. And one more thing, and then I know it's just one article, but it's a big player nationally. Do you think that because we know the Eagles and the Ravens were interested in drafting him, and he pish-poshed those things because he couldn't be the starter. Do you think that those teams would be interested? This is actually an interesting question. Do you think that since he kind of shined on at least the Ravens, that they'd be willing to let bygones be bygones and trade for him?
Do you guys remember, like when Tebow came here, how
I couldn't forget
they were able to, like, I think it has to almost be a team like that that's got such a stable quarterback situation, and is where he's not going to be the story. You can't, like, if you're a team that has any sort of shaky quarterback situation, you can't do it. Like, this, to me, is exactly why Tim Tebow couldn't get jobs as a backup, why Jay Cutler couldn't get jobs as a backup, why Colin Kaepernick couldn't get jobs as a backup, because this is why coaches don't want a backup quarterback who's a celebrity. That's why they don't want it. It's like, give me the guy who no one's ever heard of, who like will blend in with the furniture here. I don't need... like every time my quarterback throws 2 picks for there to be segments on First Take on it.
Well,
like,
that's
I don't
the point.
Need that. Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's the point the guy was making. Someone had called in saying my take was silly, and I wanted to take the call saying that it's not my take.
I'm with you on that, though. Like, I think, you have to see something. It's kind of interesting that way, right? Because you don't think he's ready to go. and you don't feel comfortable putting him in the game. Yet to put up with all of this, you have to see something there, right? Like there has to be something worth developing has to be there. So that.
But what if there's not, which is the theory?
If there's not, then you get rid of him.
Okay.
If there's not, but if there is, it's the most important position in sports. So you put up with it, right? Like it's again like when Brady was a rookie here, they held on to 4 quarterbacks. No one holds on to 4 quarterbacks. Well, they held on to 4 quarterbacks not because they knew he was going to become Tom Brady, because maybe there's something there.
Okay, so I think you've come around to this guy's point. His point is they don't believe in him. They don't think it's worth keeping him around. And the only reason they're doing it is because, yes, and it's a huge headache. And everything you said about not wanting a backup quarterback where they're asking all these questions, it's exactly what they said. And that it's Haslam or the fear of him becoming Baker Mayfield.
Because I was a little sensitive to I heard people saying like Shedeur should march in there and ask for his release, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, I'm saying the Browns should get rid of him.
Right.
I'm not saying it. I mean, the guy was saying it. I thought it was an interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's like if there's something there that's worth developing, you keep developing him and you put up with it. And I just think there's a certain tone deafness to the way Shedeur's handled some of the whole mime thing. Jesus. I mean, like
we talked about this before.
Yeah, right? The mime thing. It's like you have to know that was going to become a bigger deal than if you just said something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The whole pantomiming the answer, Fred, when they asked him about Flacco leaving and him still being a backup, and he kind of pantomimed his answers to the media last week.
I saw it. We talked about it. We talked about it on the air.
But maybe he should have pretended he was in a box.
By the way, didn't Baker Mayfield went through a couple of teams? It wasn't a straight line from Cleveland to Tampa.
No, but he was on the 49ers, wasn't he?
I thought it was the Rams.
No, he was the Rams. I was thinking
in Carolina, right?
No, he got traded from the Browns to Carolina. Then Carolina cut him. He went to the Rams and played on that Thursday night game, if you guys remember, where he showed up on like Wednesday.
I don't remember. You
don't remember that?
No.
So he got cut by the Panthers and showed up like reported to the Rams on Wednesday and played in the Thursday night game and won the game.
Like a hockey player.
Wow.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
Bag of gear.
Yeah, and the Rams were bad that year, so I think it was like a relatively meaningless game, but it was like, holy crap, what did he just pull off? Stafford was hurt, and they were starting what was his name? John Wolford. I think they were starting John Wolford.
Wow.
And they went to Baker.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I knew it was San Francisco or the Rams. I knew it was somewhere where quarterbacks can't fail.
And then Baker went to Tampa, and now Baker might be the MVP of the league. Baker did some unbelievable things last week.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, he certainly has an ability to come back and certainly get you in 60-yard field goal position.
For the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 98.5.